Greetings everybody, today it's time for something a bit different. My new fruit hunter friend Marco was kind enough to give me a tour of his bee collection. Yes, some people collect coins, Marco collects freaking bees. And you know what? Bees are fascinating. I learned a lot, and Marco even gave me the opportunity to try honey from several rare bee species.
There you see all the honey and pollen.
Oh wow.
Honey separated in these bubbles, in these pollen pots of the bee commonly called as mariola here in Costa Rica.
They're a very small bee. I've never seen a bee that small. So what sort of difference do you get from a honey made from a different species of bee?
The stingless bees, as this one.
Well, this one doesn't sting.
No.
Okay, can get a little closer.
They make very concentrated honey in antioxidant components, so they can cure many infections of bacterial origin.
Okay, so it's more used medicinally. But is the flavor of the honey have a great difference?
It's very different from the common honey. It has tons of different citruses and fruits depending on the area. And you may have a try if you would.
Oh yeah, sure. So I just touch this guy on the side, and they're definitely not going to sting me.
No.
So I just got a little bit of the honey on my finger. Doesn't have like, I mean, it tastes like honey, but pretty different. And you're right, it's like a little bit of a tartness to it too. It's good. It's not super sweet. It's like I could take some of that and like spread it on pancakes and be like really nice. Yeah, that's good. So here's some of your bee collection. But these ones are kind of a nuisance, so we're not going to get much closer to them. You can see them kind of swarming around everywhere. These ones do not sting, but they kind of like get in your business.
Yeah, into your hair, into your dark clothes, or any other place that they want to bother you.
Oh, okay. So we can leave them alone. Alright, so we've come to a wall of bees. So what can you tell me about your bee collection here? It's like a little introduction to your work in bees.
I work with all the species of native stingless bees of Costa Rica, which can be kept in boxes. So I reproduce them and help people who want to get new colonies to have their own.
Like, maybe this is a silly question because I don't know anything about bees, but they keep separate from each other? They don't, like, one type of bee species wouldn't just like go into the other hive, or...
No, each bee knows where they live and they return every day to the place where they came out of.
And is there anything especially interesting about like a particular species of bee compared to other ones?
These ones are called Melipona costarricensis or Jicote barcino, and they live only in the Caribbean side of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama.
Just that one area. And these ones are very dark. Oh, we're opening it up. I keep having to remind myself that these are stingless bees. But wow.
This is another species. These ones will get to you and get to your hair.
Okay. And these are very teeny tiny ones. Wow. So many different shapes and sizes. This one here had like a different color to it. It was kind of like gray.
Have white wings, so they are called alas blancas.
Oh, is he gonna come out? He's thinking about it. Nope, he's gonna go back in. This is something that I never even thought about. You know, in the US we've got the bumblebee and we've got the other bee. And that's about it. But just to think that there's so many different types, ones that are completely black, like this, ones that are like teeny tiny, and you get some larger ones, like that one flying there, some with different colored wings.
And bees that don't make combs, they make eggs only.
Wow! They don't make like a honeycomb,
No.
they just make a little egg sac. So where does the honey go?
In the pots.
Okay, so there's little honey pots there. But they don't breed in there. They breed in the little eggs there. That's normally, excuse my ignorance, because that's usually how it works. Like, you make a honeycomb and they breed inside the honeycomb.
Yeah.
Okay, so the same place that the honey comes from is where they're breeding. But not in this case. In this case, they have a separate egg-laying area. And it seems like they like doing it on top. Kind of separated from the comb. Do they try to keep the honey area and the egg-laying area separate?
Yeah.
It's like we got the kitchen over there, and then we got the bedroom over there. Fascinating. Is there like any honey that you find like especially interesting out of all the species that you have?
One of the ones that I like most is the one called Jicotegato. That is the sacred Mayan bee. It's completely sweet with no sour tastes, and it has a fruital flavor to it.
Okay, so like a fruity, sweet flavor. Wow. Yeah, they have such defined lines to them. They look very busy. Like they have some. They're working right now. Can I try this one?
Yeah.
So where should I don't want to ruin their hive.
On any open pot.
So like if I go in that one there. Okay. Excuse me, buddy. Okay. Just dip my finger in that pot. Get a little bit more. Okay. The sacred Mayan bee honey. That's a very strong flavor. Like the first taste of it is like a berry sort of taste and a sweet taste, very fruity. And the aftertaste kind of like goes up, it kind of like travels, and you're left with kind of like a more of a mellow, like brown sugary sort of taste. That's my description of it. What do you say?
I would say that this time of the year, the honey has some kind of smoky flavor.
Smoky is a good, yeah. Good
a little
description.
bit woody flavor. Not so much fruity as other times of the year, but more smoky woody flavor.
That's really nice though. Like I would put that on like a waffle. Be very, very happy with that. Are there stinging varieties in Costa Rica?
They come from Europe and Africa. That's why we have the African bee in Costa Rica.
Oh, okay, so you have them, but they're not native here. There's so many fun facts about bees. Like I don't even realize what amazing things I'm noticing. But you see how there's always like one little bee poking its head out? That is a guard bee that's just protecting the hive. But you can see it with these ones too. See? There's a guy keeping watch. Yeah, I see him in there. He's a little bit further in, but there's one keeping watch. Yep. Every time I walk by, one of these bees pokes its head out, looks at me to see if I'm a threat. That's amazing. That's actually really adorable. And if I get close... Yeah, he's not standing down. Like, he's protecting the hive. Doing a good job. Okay. I love that. That's really sweet. The reason why one bee won't go into another hive is because these little guard bees won't let them. If they try to, there's going to be a fight. So that's why it's like one species per hive. Two hives, even if they're the same species, one bee isn't going to go in the other one. They're not going to be allowed. So it's not like a racist sort of thing. Like they just are keeping like their own home together. You don't want like somebody who's not part of the family. Wow. So these bees here they look like they're just like isolated into space, but they are actually guarding the entrance of their little hive here. But this isn't just a hive, this is like a little bee trap, right? So you set that up there, so bees that are in the environment here will go in there, form a hive, and then you can just like pick up this thing and bring it back to your house?
Exactly. So you don't have to cut any trees. So every year you get new hives, and even sometimes they find a tree and live inside a tree.
And that's what a beehive looks like in the wild?
Yeah.
Wow. Where are they storing like their eggs and everything?
Inside a tree that is hollow in the center.
Oh, really? So if you were to cut down this tree, inside it would be like a regular honeycomb.
Yeah.
And that's like their little entryway that they made. That's wild. I've learned so much about bees today. That's really interesting. I would like to give a big shout out to Loftyrex and Smarter Every Day. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. Patreon.com is basically how I can afford to go on all the adventures I do on this channel. So if you enjoy my series and you want to help support me, check out the link in the description below. If you don't want to go on Patreon, I also have t-shirts for sale like this one here, the Durian Anatomy shirt. That is available on my website, which I also put in the description below. Thanks so much, everybody. See you next time.